let's see. Let's start with just a standing warm up. And you're just gonna go some big circles here. We'll do mostly like lower body core, I think, actually today. Then you're gonna take big kind of sways side to side, kind of pushing your hips to the side as much as you can. Then we'll go with a push and a pull. So you're trying to kind of open up through your chest and work your back muscles too. Yep. And then we'll go feet together and big circles. And then the same thing in the other direction. And then we'll take a big stance again. I'll show you from the side. We're just gonna do a little bit of a back extension and then kind of bend your knees and slowly reach through as much as you can, and then kind of press through your heels to come back up. We'll go one more. And then you're gonna just do a few squats in place to warm up your legs a little. How have you been feeling with energy during the day? Is your medication, has that been impacting your energy, do you think? Okay. Yeah, I know. All right, so now I'm gonna have you sit with, you're gonna have your bands and like your lighter bands and yoga block. You're gonna sit on your couch, and so we'll start with the hips and staying on the same leg, doing that hip rotation. So right now you won't do anything with the band, but we'll have it close by, and then you're just gonna start with the rotation in your hip. And so as you do it, try to keep your body as still as possible and just think of like the hip joint turning like a doorknob kind of. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of like a gentle rotation, so it doesn't have to go out super far. We'll just do a few more on that side. And then you can do the same thing on the other leg. Good, and yep, just keep picturing that leg rotating and that little pressure against the block to kind of hold. So don't let your left leg move at all as you're doing it. So super still here and just that slight rotation, yep. And then here you're gonna take your bands and you're gonna put it, and I'll just come closer to the camera. So like it's on the outsides of your hands, and you're gonna stay seated actually. And I want you, it's almost like the movement is gonna be almost like you're like brushing your hair back kind of. So a little tension in the bands, elbows stay bent. I'll show you from the side. And I'm kind of just coming up and then down. Yep. And so keep your elbows kind of tucked in like you're doing like this type of movement almost. Yeah. And you should feel like tension in your upper back with the bands. You feel that? Okay. So we'll go just two more there. Good. And then you're going to set the band down. And here I'm going to talk you through a little bit of pelvic floor. So the movement itself, all you're doing is going from a seated position to a standing position. But I want to work on pelvic floor with that. So what you're going to do is you're going to almost try to close your pelvic floor before you stand up. So kind of like if you were like going to pass gas or something and you didn't want anything to come out, you're going to close and then exhale, stand, and just like reach your arms above your head as you're standing. So you're going to press through your heels, but the whole thing is like trying to like contract your pelvic floor before standing. Yep. And so you'll work on that. And reason being, you know, as you get further in your pregnancy, there might be times where your pelvic floor is weaker and you have to sneeze or cough. And you want to make sure your pelvic floor knows how to kind of kick in before you do anything like that. Good. Good. Let's do 3 more. Good, and then we're gonna go back to the one with the yoga block. So same thing here. And again, try to stay super stable and just let that rotation happen in the hip. Yep. Good. And then we'll go other side, same thing. Two more there, and then we'll do one more time with the band and the same thing, kind of that bent elbow all the way back, feeling the back strengthen there. Yep. Good. We'll go one more. All right, and then we'll do one more time with the pelvic floor closing and standing. Good. We'll go 3 more there. Good, and then I'm going to have you now come down to the ground, and you're also gonna bring the ball with you. We'll keep that close. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just more mobility. So you are going to have one leg straight and then turn to the side a little bit so you can see me better. I am straight out to the side, and then I'm gonna sit back with my butt going towards the heel and then come back up. So it looks like that, and you're stretching through the inner thigh. So kind of keep your chest up and just sink your hips back towards the floor. Yep. Do you feel like pulling in there a little bit? And we'll go just 2 more like that. And then you're going to stay on that same side, and you're just going to lengthen and reach over and then pull down. Yep. And we'll go 1 more. And then you're going to take your left leg and bring it in front of you. And there you're going to kind of tuck your tailbone under so your pelvis tilts a little bit. So you should feel your right leg stretching. And I'm kind of just pressing my hips forward a little bit. And then you're going to take your right arm again and reach and pull. And so you should feel this area stretching in there. Do you feel that? Yeah, on your right side. So you really have to make sure that like your tailbone, rather than like this, you kind of like tuck it under and hold that tuck. And you should feel the right side by pressing your hips forward a little bit from here to here. Stretch. Do you feel? Yeah, you feel that? You kind of do have to keep it like your pelvis tucked under though to really get like the full benefit. Yeah. And then you might feel like a little bit in your back stretching too. And then let's go to the other side. So we'll start with your leg out to the side. And then the same leg, it stays straight and you kind of sit back towards your heel. Yep. And then feel the right inner thigh stretch. And that also kind of helps lengthen through the pelvic floor a little bit. It can. Let's have you bring your right leg to the front now, and we'll tuck your tailbone under and do the reaching one. So a lot of time, like your joints can get a little bit more relax. And so you might be feeling that. It's not always common to feel it, but sometimes you can. Or it can just really be like as your feet flatten and then you have more body weight, it's just like harder on the joints in general. So if you're noticing it mostly like moving around your house and stuff, I would say maybe start making sure you're wearing like supportive like shoes all the time, because that could help. Because your feet are probably starting to flatten a little bit. And then that can really impact like ankles, hips, knees. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go onto your side with your ball under the rib. And so between your hip and rib, and you're still supporting yourself on your arm, not a ton, but a little bit. This leg stays pressed into the ground, and then you kind of press your hip into the ground a little, or into the ball a little bit as you lift and lower. And so let's incorporate the breath a little bit. So as you exhale, think of drawing your abs in just a little. It's not like a strong contraction, but you should feel a little one. Yeah. Good. How is that feeling? Starting to feel it? Okay, in the inner thigh. What about in your glutes, like your right hip? Okay, good. Because that's mostly where I want you to feel it. We'll go for 4 more. And then you're going to go onto your back with the ball between your knees. And you're not going to put any pressure into the ball until you get up. You're going to lift, squeeze, 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 and then back down. And then again, lift, squeeze, 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 and back down. And so you're definitely going to feel inner thigh with the squeeze, but if you want to also try like quick pelvic floor contractions with that, you can as well. So we're trying to hit pelvic floor a little bit more today. We'll go 3 more. And then we're going to go back to that same leg you were just working. So same side, second set. And I would say maybe move the ball a little bit lower, closer to your hip bone a little bit. Yeah, let's see how that feels. And then make sure your elbow's right under your shoulder. So bring it in slightly. Good. And then as you're lifting, I'm also gonna have you point your right toe down towards the ground a little bit. So you're rotating the hip slightly. And that hopefully you'll get more glute now. So if you kind of press into the ball as you lift, feel that? Okay. Yeah, that looks good. And just keep as stable as you can, like in the core. Use that ball to really like anchor yourself in and keep the left leg kind of anchored to the floor, and you'll start to feel like your right leg is getting heavier. Good. And we'll go 3 more. Nice. Okay, so now you're going to go back onto your back, and same thing with the ball between your knees and the lift and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Same thing with inner thigh and pelvic floor. Good. How does your belly feel in this position? Okay. Good. One more, and then we need to switch to the other side so that you can get the same work done. Good, yep. And then same thing, kind of now you're anchoring your right leg to the ground, using the ball to keep your core stable, and then lift and lower, focusing on the glutes and exhaling as you lift. Good. Yeah, these look good. You look stable. Starting to feel it already in the glutes. Just be mindful that your shoulder doesn't collapse in, kind of keep it nice and strong. Go 3 more. Good. And so now, instead of on your back, you're gonna do the same thing, but from this position. So basically lifting up a little bit. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's not do that because of your wrist. Are you sure? Or like this? What if you do like a fist like that? Does that work? And then squeeze, 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 and then down, lift, squeeze, 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 and down. We don't have to do a lot because that's the only thing where I forgot about that. We'll do just one more. Good. And then let's get the second time on your right or on your left side. Yeah. Is that where you're feeling it? Yeah, definitely. Did it feel like you could still contract them? Or did it feel like gravity was just like pulling them? Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good. Yeah, as long as you were feeling them kind of contracting. Sometimes it just feels like if you're not able to do that, it just feels like a lot of pressure. And this should be a little harder right away since it's our last set of these. So let's go 3 more lifts there. And then do you want to do a second set of the ones we just did, or was that too much on your wrists? Okay. And yeah, just use your breathing. So if you're definitely feeling the abs, make sure as you lift up, you exhale to kind of draw your abs up. And then once they're in, that's when you can kind of squeeze the inner thigh a little. Oh yeah, good. I can still even see that. That's good. Yep. Nice. Let's go just one more. Okay, and then we're gonna do another round. Let me get a dumbbell really quick. You're gonna let's go with your light dumbbells. So we're gonna go onto the ground again, but you're gonna go on your side and you can just support your head. Legs are just kind of comfortably bent. You're gonna have one arm straight and you're gonna exhale, lift, and inhale, lower. And so on that lift, I want you to feel your abs kind of brace a little bit. So it's working your shoulders, but I want you to use the weight in order to kind of target the abs. And I don't know, it might be too light for you to feel it, but we'll see. They're moving. Do you feel like that little contraction? Oh, good. Yeah, that's good. We'll go 3 more there. And then you're gonna stay on that side. You're gonna straighten your bottom leg and cross the top leg over. And you're gonna lift and lower, but as you're lifting, I also want you to think of a pelvic floor lift. So you're exhaling, lifting the pelvic floor, and then inhaling, let it relax. Exhale, lift, inhale, relax. And how do you feel you're doing with like pelvic floor contractions? Are you feeling like you're getting them right? Okay. Yeah, it should feel almost like same kind of similar when we did that sit to stand where you're kind of just trying to like not pass gas, like all those muscles between the tailbone and pubic bone kind of lift a little bit. How's the inner thigh feeling with this? You feel inner thigh muscles working? Good. So let's go 3 more there. And then you can bend the legs again. We'll do a second set with that shoulder lift to get the abs again on that side. And then, so it's an exhale, kind of brace, inhale, relax. Good, yeah, a lot of good belly movement. That's awesome. Nice. Good, and then why don't we do one more inner thigh set on this side, but this time don't do the pelvic floor, just think about the legs. So exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Good. All right, so let's switch to the other side. We'll start with the arms and abs. And so same thing, exhale, drawing the belly button in. Good. Yeah. All right, and then we'll go back to the inner thigh with the pelvic floor. So lifting pelvic floor up towards your belly button as your leg comes up. Good. And as much as you can, kind of keeping the hips stable, gentle inner thigh contraction. Breathing's really good. We'll just do 3 more there. Good, and then one last ab set. Good. We'll just do 2 more there. And then we'll finish out the floor work with the one last set of your inner thigh without the pelvic floor. Good. Last 3. Okay, so now I'm gonna have you stand and we're gonna finish it out with another pairing of exercises. So first thing is gonna be for between your shoulders again, so that hip hinge, and you're gonna do little pulses, squeezing between your shoulder blades. So as much as you can, kind of stick your butt back so your chest kind of falls towards the ground. Use your hips to support your back. And just think squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Yep. And we're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you're gonna stand, and I know those you can feel, right? You're gonna do a set of squats. So with your squats, it doesn't matter how your feet are, but I want your goal to be going as low as you can. And then thinking power through the heels to come up. Yeah, oh good. These are great. Yep, and use your breathing, exhale on the way up. Good, we're gonna go 4 more. How do your knees feel with that? Okay. All right, we're gonna get a final set of the back ones again. So another set of those. Good. And just make sure you're squeezing and releasing. We'll go 3, 2, 1. And then final thing is 1 more set of squats and you are done. How are you feeling overall? You look great doing everything. You're still moving really well. It might feel harder, but you're doing it. Yeah, your form is good. Nice and low with the squats. I like it. We'll go last 3. Good. Nice work. You made it. Yeah, I would say, just be mindful of like the knee stuff, like maybe wear shoes a little more often or like supportive slippers, that type of thing. Because that could actually really help you. And then, yeah, some of it could just be like hormones, and there might not be much you can do about it if you're feeling like that's what it's from. But try the shoe thing for your knees. All right. Well, I will see you soon. Let me know if there was improvement with the wrist by like not doing as much weighted stuff. Okay. Bye.